Hello, Kyäni. Welcome to the Wednesday webinar. My name is Andrew Mangeris, the Chief Products Officer here at Kyäni, and I will be your host today on the webinar. A quick announcement, next week, the Wednesday webinar will be, of course, at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we will be doing a business presentation with our Vice President of Sales, Mr. Skylar Stephenson. So look forward to that one. Next week will be a business presentation, and then that's the 27th, and then just 2 days after that, of course, we will have our kickoff call, which we have on the first day of every month at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time in the morning. So look forward to that. Well, welcome this evening. Glad you guys could be here with us and joining us. Let's get into a little bit of some product stuff tonight. First, we'll go through our disclaimers here. These statements that I go through have not been evaluated by the FDA, and the product's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. The clinical studies that I will go through in this presentation address the impact of specific ingredients generally and not of any Kyäni product specifically. And of course, the objective of this presentation is for educational purposes only. Tonight, I thought what we would do is we would focus on what February really is about, and it is about Heart Health Month. Now, some of you may have thought we were going to talk a little bit about Valentine's Day, but it's a different form of heart, right? Heart Health Month is all throughout February, and so I thought I would go through some different studies that specifically talk about ingredients and how they affect the cardiovascular system and the benefit of that. So first, let's talk a little bit about nitric oxide. Here's a study that goes through nitric oxide, the role of nitric oxide in cardiovascular disease. And this was published in Molecular Aspects of Medicine. And if we blow this one up, you can see one of the statements that they say on here. It says NO, or nitric oxide, plays an important role in the protection against the onset and progression of cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is associated with a number of different disorders, including hypercholesterolemia, hypertension, and diabetes. So, love this quote right here talking about the importance of nitric oxide and the role that it plays in cardiovascular disease and helping to prevent it and making sure that you have a high level of nitric oxide in your system in order to protect it. All right, let's go to a study done by Case Western University. And this is one of the things that they said in their study. They say, our work shows that the main receptors in the heart that respond to drugs don't work without nitric oxide. So that's saying that the drugs, when they tested them, if the body doesn't have nitric oxide, it actually doesn't work and facilitate those drugs. And if you go in further to this study, they talk about how we need to increase that nitric oxide production in order to make sure that these drugs are working for those surgeons and so forth who are using them to make sure that they're helping to protect the system. So key finding here is that nitric oxide is directly linked to helping to support that cardiovascular system. Let's look at one more here. This is a list of some of the different studies that have been done in nitric oxide and cardiovascular system here in cardiovascular health. You can see throughout all of these some of the different titles in here and some of the different journals that they're published in: nitric oxide in the cardiovascular system, nitric oxide cardiovascular regulation, beyond the endothelium. Now we know that nitric oxide plays a key role in the endothelium cells, which are what surround your blood vessels and help to regulate whether they're contracting and constriction, where you have vasodilation or vasoconstriction in the blood vessels. Targeting nitric oxide with naturally derived compounds as a therapeutic strategy in cardiovascular or in vascular disease. Nitric oxide, a protective role in the cardiovascular system, another great one. So these are just some references that you can go up and look and read yourself and see some of the benefits of it, or show to other people when if people ask you, is there really any cardiovascular benefit to nitric oxide? Absolutely there is. There's a lot of studies that show that. And matter of fact, if we go to the Ohio State University one of the things that they talked about here is, given the stream of positive data in every single study to date, it is likely we have tocotrienols, a potent and bioavailable safe oral supplement, prevent stroke and repair stroke damage. So again, we talked previously about the nitric oxide. Now we're talking about tocotrienols and the benefits of tocotrienols and how they protect the heart system. So this was Dr. Chandan Sen, if I say that right, from Ohio State University. But just again, reinforcing the importance of how some of these different ingredients support the heart health. Let's look at the journal, Current Pharmaceutical Design. This one again focuses on tocotrienols. Tocotrienols reduce serum lipids and raise serum HDL. So HDL are the good cholesterol that we want to have in our system. Alpha tocopherol, which we know is a different form of vitamin E than tocotrienols. Alpha tocopherol, on the other hand, has no effect on the serum lipids. Tocotrienols have greater antioxidant activity than tocopherols. Both reduce the serum levels of C-reactive protein and advance glycation end products and expression of cell adhesion molecules. The CRP lowering effects of tocotrienols are greater than tocopherols. As some people may or may not know, CRP is a way to measure in your blood system to see what some of those risks are, cardiovascular risks that you may have. And so now you're looking at lowering the CRP levels with tocotrienols and how potent that is with tocotrienols, thus leading to better cardiovascular health. Here's a study, and I believe we showed this one before when we went through just strictly tocotrienols, but it really hits the point home about cardiovascular health. Glutathione levels are the master antioxidant in your blood system, in your body, and so we want to increase those levels naturally. And you can see here the T3 or tocotrienol group has an increased level compared to control group when they take a tocotrienol product. And so it increases your master antioxidant, which is a benefit to protecting the body. So not only is tocotrienols used as protecting as an antioxidant, but it's also raising the level of other antioxidants, and particularly the master antioxidant in your body. So a pretty potent study. In conjunction with that, it also helped to reduce the homocysteine levels in the body. And homocysteine levels, as many people know, are a measurement of the cardiovascular risk in the body. So by taking tocotrienols, they were able to show that it reduced your homocysteine levels. And of course, that's a measurement of the oxidative stress that you have in your body. Let's look at another group of studies that have been done on tocotrienols. Here's a list of several different publications and journals where you can actually go and study. Now, most of these you can go ahead and pull up online at pubmed.gov, and that's where you'll notice that you can see all the different studies, a great reference resource to see anything that's been published on some of these ingredients. Now, the next ingredient I want to talk about is something that's been very beneficial for heart health, but it's become more in the news lately. Johns Hopkins Medicine has the following here, and this was done by Aaron Mikos, and it says a growing number of studies point to vitamin D deficiency as a risk factor for heart attacks, congestive heart failure, peripheral arterial disease, strokes, and the conditions associated with cardiovascular disease, such as high blood pressure and diabetes. Right there, it's listing, out of the top 10 killers in the country, you're listing several of those that people need to be careful of and need to watch to help prevent. So what are they saying here? That all of these are showing, a number of studies are showing that those who have issues with these have vitamin D deficiencies. And that is a risk factor for people who are deficient in vitamin D. One of the things we want to make sure then is that we do get enough of our vitamin D in our bodies. We also know all the other benefits of vitamin D, but today we'll just talk about heart health for it. There was another study that was done recently, and it kind of got a lot of publicity. I saw it in the USA Today, of course, but it was published in a lot of other places, and a lot of people said that it was a negative study. But let's look at it a little bit deeper. And this was the headline: new study, fish oil and vitamin D pills, no guard against cancer or serious heart trouble. And then as you read down through it, and by the way, this was 26,000 participants in this study. So a great resource, a very large study showing over a number of years, showing a lot of individuals. They found that it reduced heart attacks by 28%. So a lot of times when you read in the news, if something looks like it's a gloom and doom, maybe you want to look deeper into the study and read through the entire study. As we know, a lot of times media, they sell that gloom and doom, sells more papers and more headlines and gets more advertisement. And so a lot of times they're trying to focus on that. But make sure that you read the details in there to understand, well, what exactly did the study say? Well, it says it reduced heart attacks by 28%. For me, 28% is significant. I love the fact that you can reduce something by 28%. So again, vitamin D. These are just 3 of the ingredients. There's tons of other ingredients, of course, that we have in our sunrise, sunset. And we talked, of course, about nitric oxide and the benefits there, but some of the other ones in sunrise and sunset also have some heart health benefits. Challenge you this month is it's a heart health month to take a look at those and see those. In conclusion, just remember to share this link. We will post this on our YouTube playlist under the Wednesday webinar channel. So you can take a look there to see past episodes as well as this one, and share it with those whom you may love or care about and who you want to take care of their heart. Also, just to mention, conventions coming up. If you have not purchased your ticket yet, I want to recommend that you purchase your ticket as soon as possible. We are going to be talking about a lot of exciting things. And from a product standpoint, and as the Chief Products Officer here at Kyäni, I'm telling you, there's a lot of exciting things that I can't wait to talk about at convention. And I hope to see you there in May at Salt Lake City at our international convention. Next week's webinar will be Vice President of Sales, Skylar Stephenson. And until then, my name is Andrew Mangeris. I live and love Kyäni. Thank you.